I've noticed that Nigerians don't like the truth. They like when you act blind to the obvious. Do you understand? And when you say things, they'll not tell you that it is not all of them. When I never generalize. So I remember early this year, I made a video talking about how Igbo women are wicked and how they maltreat their house helps. I didn't generalize. I say most Igbo women because I'm Igbo. I grew up in Onitsha, so I know what I'm saying. But a lot of them came to my DM. They were even insulting me in the comment. They were like, "You're a stupid girl. You're selling your people out. You guys don't like the truth." Majority of the Igbo married women in the East, go to their homes, you see that they have house helps from young girls. They like taking young girls. The men like the young boys that they're like training. That one is even a different one. At least that one is boy. Those ones have their own experiences. So I'm talking about the Igbo women that are married that need house helps to take care of their kids. They like the young ones. They like them from like 9 years old, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Most times the house helps that they get to take care of their children are of the same age as your children. That's how bad it is. You have that house help now. The house help is taking care of your home, cleaning, cooking, sometimes go to the market. Yes, that young, they do not care. And they like to go to church. I keep saying this thing. They are mostly Catholics. Oh God, if you grow up in Awada, Onitsha, Imo State, you should know what I'm talking about. If you're Igbo and you've experienced it, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Just being someone living close to them, you would get to see how they maltreat their house helps. That's how wicked they are. They are very good at praying. They are so virtuous to their husbands, but they are very wicked.
Exactly. You see, all these things that she has said here, it's all true. It's all true. 100% true. I have experience with that. I once lived with people, and I know my experience with people when I lived with people. Like when I said I once lived with people, I started living with people when I was at the age of 6-7 years. I was already staying with people, and I knew in fact, I can tell you my experiences with these persons. I've stayed with a pastor, I've stayed with a Catholic person, I've stayed with a deeper life person. I can tell you all these religious people, how they behave. That should not make you to turn out bad or be a bad person at the end of the day. You just have to do you, be good, practice what you are being taught in church, leave the other person, whichever attitude the person give it to you. But tell me one reason why these people will bring these persons to be a house help to them. It's called a house help. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to punish this person the way you are punishing them. I call it punishment. How can you get someone's child that is 8-year-old, 10-year-old, and you decide to treat that person's child differently from your own children? They don't eat the same thing your children eat. You don't clothe them the same way you clothe your kids. You think maybe giving them rags to wear is why buying expensive clothes for your children is the best thing. I leave it to your God. I leave you to your God. I leave it to your God. And that's why I keep advising people that, see, if you don't have money to cater for a child, you don't need to go having kids. I'm not saying you shouldn't have children. I don't have any problem against that. No, I want to have my own kids too someday. But the thing is, if I don't have that money to take care of myself, I don't have enough to take care of another mouth, I don't need to bother bringing a child to the world and suffering the child. Because if you have enough in your home to take care of yourself and an extra mouth, that's your kid, you won't go about giving your children out for them to go living with people as house help or maids. No, you don't need to do that, right? You don't need to. That's why you need to work hard, build yourself up before going into relationship or marriage, so that when you bring your kids out, you'll be able to take care of them and not suffer these kids. The other day I saw one that was hawking water. I need to see this small girl. I don't think that child is up to 10-year-old. Why? I know that on my own time too, I go through a lot too, and that gives me the sense that, oh, I don't want to bring my kids for them to go through what I went through as a child. And if you have, before you went into marriage, and all of a sudden you don't have that much again, you limit the number of children you should have. How can, as a poor man, you are having 5 kids, 8? If there's one in my area that had 8 children, and if you see these children, it's more like he gives birth every year. If people did not insult that woman and shout for him and talk sense into her, she would have continued giving birth. She wouldn't have gone and do family planning. She could have continued giving birth to children up and down. Why allowing them to fry akara with her on the streets? It doesn't necessarily mean how many kids you give birth to that will take care of you. What matters is the value you impart in them, how you train them. You can have one child or two children and train them very well, and they will be the one to see you through your old age. They will do very well and take care of you in your old age. And you can have 5 8 children, and at the end of the day no one will become something, or maybe it might be just one that will be something at the end of the day, and that one will be the one to see you through your old age, whereas other ones will just be useless. I'm sorry, I'm not saying it's a compulsory thing. No, I'm just saying because I've seen it happen too. I was born in a ghetto and I grew up in a ghetto, and in ghetto you can see all manner of things going on and happening. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you having just 2 kids or 3 kids is too small, or maybe you have one, God gave you just one son or one daughter, you are like, God, why didn't you give me too much? And at the end of the day, that child might be something. So please, as a poor person, I'm not sorry, it's not like I'm calling you a poor person, but if you know you don't have enough, don't go and have battalion of children that you cannot take care of, and at the end of the day you end up stressing that child, taking them for them to go and live as maid, and people will be maltreating them anyhow, treating them like trash. If some of those children, when they grow up, if they grow up hating their parents. I've met one like that. That one hated his parents, today saying that he wish the dad can buy today, and that is true. So please, what she's saying, she's 100% right, and I support her. And it's this thing is, you see it's mainly in all these religious people. You see Catholic church, you see Pentecostal, like most of them that have house helps. That's how they do them. And when you see them, you can easily differentiate between their children and the house help, irrespective of the child's age. And it's not good. Well guys, I'll be stopping here today. See you guys in my next video. Love you all. Bye.